Hello, welcome. I'm just waiting for Wendy so I can add Wendy on as a co-host. She's not here yet. Ah, likes. I received the likes. Thank you. Hi. So glad you're here. I'm waiting for Wendy. Look at my funny little setup for the live. I decided to I just have books. Heartstopper. Y'all know I'm obsessed with Heartstopper. So I've got all right, let's see. Let's see if there's Wendy. All right, we're going to bring her on.
Knocking on the door. Hi, Brian.
I'm here. I was just showing everyone my funny little setup. I've just got, speaking of books, I just set up some books.
Nice.
I just was like, you know what? The ring light can stay in the closet. I'm out of the closet, but the ring light can stay in the closet.
I don't have a ring. But I have a crystal that's hanging in the window, and the crystal. So these rainbows you see on
Yes.
that's from the crystal.
That's amazing. I love it.
Well, do you know if you hang a crystal in the window, it's supposed to invite in creativity.
Oh, wow.
So that's what I did. Seems to be working.
That's good. I have we have a mutual friend, Zoe, gave me this creativity candle. I have it
Ooh.
lit. I don't know if it works, but I always light it when I write. It smells so good.
You can get water bottles with the word creativity on it and drink it.
That's
Well,
good. No, it's so interesting you said that. I had someone say, "Oh, Dawn says, Wendy, I love your rainbows."
oh, thank you. Everybody should get crystals. See, they're behind me now. They're all over the room. When the sun starts going down, the crystals like they just dance everywhere. So
Oh,
I like it too.
that's
I
so
like.
cool. Someone had said to me, I think it was John Hillstead who's on here. He's amazing. He was talking about how, like, if you, like, when you're drinking, like, if you have like negative thoughts before you drink, you're like drinking in the negativity. So if you like you said, you're just like, you know, hmm, positive thoughts of creativity, and then you take that in. I like that. Hi, Carol. Carol.
Who's showing up on your page, Brian? So tell them I all said hi, even though I can't see
Yeah.
them.
Unfortunately, Wendy can't see the comments, so I have to feed them to Wendy.
Yeah,
I have to feed them to Wendy.
the story
Towards you. Oh my goodness. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
on what?
Wow.
Oh, Amber's here. Hi, Amber.
Amber.
Storybook. She's here. Can you see her on your screen?
No,
She,
I don't see Amber on mine, but that's good. We'll let Amber be on yours.
she's very. I love looking at her art. Storybook collage. She just does beautiful stuff. Very calming voice.
Yeah.
I think she should narrate books. That's if I was her manager. That's what she'd be doing.
We'll manifest her if she wants it.
I think she'd take it. I think she would take it. But
Oh, we have wonderful people here. I'm so happy. Rocco, welcome, Rocco. I'm happy to see you. Our CT girl. What would I do without you? I'm so glad you're here. Oh, Rocco says hi. So yeah, we have a good crowd coming in. Gabriel's here. Rocco
oh,
sent us a rose. How lovely.
thank you.
Yeah. So Wendy and I are going to talk about transforming secrets into art. That's going to be real. I'm so excited. Wendy and I talked a little bit earlier, and I got so pumped up about this.
It's exciting topic. I I enjoy thinking about the process of writing memoir is taking these secrets, these things that I never was allowed to talk about as a kid. Mental illness being one of them. alcoholism running rampant in the family. But, specifically my mother being a schizophrenic, we weren't allowed to talk about it. And it's like the conditioning. And, it got me thinking about all of the ways we are conditioned through parents, through media, through school, through peers, friends, and just the way we get conditioned. And it's like, it's unconditioning myself, like writing and being creative is like breaking out of these paradigms, these constructs that I built up around myself. And, you know, yeah, I wanted to start by reading just one little excerpt from this book that got me inspired. It's called Body Work by Melissa Phoebos. She also wrote Girlhood, which is
I know that.
yeah. So the stigma of victimhood is a time-worn tool of oppressive powers to gaslight people. They subjugate into believing that by naming their disempowerment, they're being dramatic, they're whining, attention grabbers, or else beating a dead horse. And um, she talks about it being a form of control. We have been discouraged from writing about it because it makes people feel uncomfortable, because the patriarchal society wants its victims to be silent, because shame is an effective method of silencing. And, if you think about how many times have you heard someone shamed, like, or made fun of, like somebody gets a hold of your diary as a kid and
Oh,
reads, just you're humiliated because your secrets are now out in public and someone has something over you. So there there is a lot of conditioning and control by telling us, oh, you're beating a dead horse, just get over it, move on with your life.
mm.
you know like, it's disempowering, don't you think, Brian?
Oh yeah, it is. It is so disempowering. And what's so interesting about TikTok is for many of us, like a lot of like people on here, like especially like Torchy and like we're like living diaries these days. Like we're storytellers, and I think we've overcome a lot. The fact that we can come on here and talk about our past, and gosh, I mean, yeah, it's so funny. I had like Winnie and I talked about like some of the first times we had transformed art into secret into art, and I thought that I had remembered like one of the first times, but it was actually a short story I wrote in not elementary school, junior high, about two guys, and one was me basically falling in love with a guy, and he died. And I called it Friends Forever because I couldn't call it what it really was in my little hometown in Mississippi. And I entered it in a writing contest, won, and then my teacher made me read it for the whole class, and I did not want to because they knew, like they knew. And I remember feeling so much shame when I read it, just like the snickering and like the giggling, because they knew what I was actually saying. They knew they weren't friends forever. They were more than that, you
Right.
know.
Well,
Oh, we have a comment. Shaming comes in so many forms. And then I stopped journaling after my mom yelled at me about the content of a letter she read. Oh, no. Yeah, that's tough.
And Amber says that one of her mom's boyfriends did that, read her diary. You
Oh,
know, like, that's so humiliating. And it's like, I know people, I do writing groups, and I know people that are afraid to write things down in fear of that somebody will find it.
yeah.
They don't safe.
When I was in it, so I journal every morning. We've talked about this. I from the artist's way, I do morning pages every day. And when I was so paranoid because I was detoxing, and I remember I would journal and I would rip it up and I'd throw it in the shredder. I was like, they're gonna read it. They're gonna read it. And now, I keep it. It's in my little desk, and I do sometimes think I'm like, well, if someone robbed me, would they read my journal? I said, that's probably not what they're looking for. It's probably my television, not my journal.
I
But
had just so many journals that I kept in my closet, and a lot of tormented years of journaling. And, even the journaling, I'd be drunk and the writing would be all over the page. I'd look at it the next day. I didn't even know what I said, but I go at one point in my sobriety early on, I go, I can't have my kids find this
yeah,
chick, so I did get rid of a lot of journals. um, but it was like something in me knew, even then, even in my drunken stupor, or my, under the influence of drugs, that writing was, I was trying to get out of my addiction. Anyway, I was like calling on the universe, calling on whatever, and just like I wanted to stop, and no self-help book was helping. So it's like I had no clue back then. But
yeah.
writing, like when I first started doing memoir, like Mother Load, it took me a long time to get to be able to get it down. And there was this, I kept getting blocked. And this author talks about, she doesn't believe in writer's block, but she believes in fear. You
I've
know,
been reading
it's,
that a lot lately. People saying they don't believe in writer's block.
yeah, that is just fear, you know,
Here.
fear blocks us, but she doesn't call it writer's block, and I mean, as two people that do the work and, uh, inventory, or both in recovery, and like becoming intimate with the fear and knowing, why am I afraid? Why am I afraid? Because I've been conditioned for so long to keep secrets. And so, all through the writing process of Motherload, I just kept hitting this wall, But it's like, when you hit the wall, you got to throw your hat over it, over the wall, and
Yeah.
just get it somehow, And
Yeah.
that's showing.
Tell people what I think a lot of people know, but tell them what mother load is so they understand what that is.
Okay, Mother Load is my first memoir that I wrote about my bottoming out, and ending up in the county jail for assault with a deadly weapon. And I was watching a bit of video from, uh, just a bit, because I was writing an article on it about the Johnny Depp trial, and that kind of messy. Talk about all your secrets being exposed, is being streamed on social media and just out there, that all that must. So I was writing an article about that, but it's back to Mother Load. Sorry, I'm a little tangential today. I've been hanging out with my sister over the weekend. She's
My work phone's going off. I'm like, like y'all stop texting me right now.
oh, but Motherload is my
You tell
memoir.
them about mother load. I'm gonna grab my phone. I'll be right back.
So Motherload is a memoir with a little bit of domestic violence in it. I, end up going to jail for, I don't know how else to say it, but shooting my husband's mistress in the arm. Yes, I did that. that. So that, I didn't want to come clean or write about it at first, and I had to get past a lot of fear, afraid of being judged, afraid of what people are going to think, and really anchor into my purpose. What is the purpose? Why do I want to write this? Well, I want to write it for other couples that are struggling, other women that are in a relationship, or any mother that feels like they totally blew up their life. I want to give hope, because there is a lot of redemption in my story. So that was the motivating factor for writing Motherload, and that trumped my fear, if it makes sense. Like, I had such a purpose and wanted to help people with my book, that it overrode the fear, so I was able to do it. And then since then, I wrote another book during COVID about my adolescence. But it's like, I think if you have a bigger purpose, it helps you motivate you. When you
Yeah.
say, Brian?
Yeah, I would say that. Of course, I'm sitting there thinking about my, the things I'm working on now. I mean, you've read my short film. Wendy and I we're in a writers group, and we read each other's pages and we help each other. And my short film, which is about an addict who is at the end of the line, and he encounters this woman who we don't even know who she is. I mean, I know who she is because I wrote it, but y'all, we don't know who she is. But she's there to help him decide whether he's gonna, get to live or die. And it's about, which addicts make it, which ones don't. And my purpose is very clear in that short film. My TV show that I'm working on, you were speaking, and I was like, what is the purpose? What? And I think it's the same. I think it's to show people that you can have a second chance at life. You can blow your dreams to the ground and pick them up and start over. I mean, you don't have to, it's never over. As long as there's breath in the body, there's always hope. And so I think that is the purpose. Um, I think that's the purpose. That's great, Wendy. That's so good. The purpose outweighing the fear, because my fear is, oh, if I don't get this grant from Netflix, which I still don't know if I got it or didn't get it. If I didn't get this grant, then I have to pitch this show to other people. What if they say no? What if they say it's no good? What if they say no one wants to hear about a gay man in his 40s who moved back to LA? you know but the purpose is bigger than the fear. It has to be.
It has to be. It has to be. That is like the motivation that gives us the incentive to keep going. I mean, or what's the point if there isn't a purpose attached to it? If I don't have a purpose when I wake up in the morning and sit in front of my computer and look at a blank piece of paper, then what's the point? You know, I have to know intimately who I'm talking to, who I'm addressing, who I want to reach. And it's like it was very helpful for me when I was writing Mother Lode to think about the women, that incarcerated women or people locked up that might benefit from my book.
Yeah.
So that was helpful to think of them.
Yeah. We have Nicole's here. Nicole, I guess I can say your name. It's Nicole Walters is here. And let's
Oh,
see, we have some hearts from Just Purple Flowers. And Laura says, I admire the both of you. We are all broken. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
yeah. No kidding. Oh, my goodness.
And can we talk a little bit about the healing power of art and writing?
Absolutely. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Let's talk about it.
Well, we're talking first earlier today, Brian, on the phone. You were talking about like being in touch with creativity when you were young.
yeah. 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 I mean, the first time I started acting really young. Um, I was gonna tell this story on a TikTok and I never could get it out, but I was a singer growing up, and then they cast me in the church play, and I was furious that I had a non-singing part. and this, it just reminds you that the universe knows what I don't know. I was not even gonna do the part, and my parents were like, "You should do it." And so I did it, and it really changed the course of what I wanted to do. And my home life at that time, I was in junior high, and I wasn't out. I barely knew I was gay. And then all of a sudden I could bring these elements of who I was to the stage in a way that I couldn't bring to life. um, and so I remember also in college doing the summer stock. It was a repertory theater, and I was playing. I don't know if anyone out there knows The Mousetrap by Agatha Christie. I played Christopher Wren, who is this really eccentric. He's an architect in real life, but in the play, he's like this really eccentric, character that I was able to inhabit parts of myself that were more feminine and more neurotic and all these parts of myself that I was afraid to be because I was closeted. In the play, I could just do it. And I was so free to be, feminine and quirky and weird. And like my parents came to see that. And I remember they were like, that one character you did was very strange. And I was like, yes, he was. He was. So I had this outlet back then that I'm so grateful for. The arts have been saving my life for a long time.
Well, when they said that, did that cause any shame for you when they
Oh,
said you're?
yes, for sure. Like the character that they liked the best was I was in The Imaginary Invalid. I think Moliere wrote that. And I was playing the young lover who was like the lead, the ingenue traditional character in love with the girl. And I remember that was my least favorite part that I played. And I was like, of course, they wouldn't like the one that was closest to me that I want to express. So yeah, it did. And they'll probably watch this. I'm just like, I love you, Mom. I love you. They found our YouTube. Yeah, they've been finding these on YouTube. So that's all right. It's healing for them too. When Mom saw the one we did 2 times ago, my mother said, she goes, I'm glad I saw the things you talked about because I want to know it all. So there
Oh,
you go. Yeah,
amazing.
talk about healing. TikTok has been very healing in many ways in itself, not to mention, the other things we were talking about. But I sidetracked us.
I was, I was thinking about, being younger and not being able to pursue my creativity or not having an outlet. Like everything, I did try taking piano lessons. I did try tap dancing. I tried different things, but I always quickly lost interest. And, I think that I lived in so much fear. Dysfunctional family being what it was, and that I was just trying to survive,
Mm.
and uh, trauma, they say, can kind of squash creativity because you have to be creative. You have to be vulnerable, and if you don't feel safe, who wants to be vulnerable?
Oh, gosh. That's so true. I had never really thought of it that way. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. The first play that I did in recovery, I had about 11 months. And thank goodness the person I did the play with was also in recovery and had a lot of time. Um, right before opening night, right before we went on, all the things that I would do before going on, which was like sometimes have a shot, have a drink, even like pump myself up. Like I would need to feel like um, like my heart racing. All those things were not good for me anymore. So I had to find other ways to be vulnerable. And for me, meditation was really key, really key.
So what I don't know how many people and create here, and you can check in
Yeah,
with your they
yeah.
can.
Tell us. Rocco says he played piano when he was younger, but he stopped doing it. He wished he hadn't. Well, guess what? You can do it today. Adult piano lessons.
But it's like, I feel like there is something knocking. There's something knocking on our door. There's some reason that we are here, and
Mm.
ignore it, which I tried to do for a long time. I knew I was in sobriety. I didn't know previous to getting sober that I was supposed to write, but through meditation, I knew, I had a realization I'm supposed to write my book, and not only did I realize I was supposed to write my book, it was almost as if it was downloaded. The kind of the full broad stroke of the book. Like I knew what it was, where it was going to start and where it was going to end. I didn't know everything that was going to come in between, but I kind of, I had it, some sort of where the book would go. And I resisted. I resisted writing it. I talked about it to all my friends. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book. And
Hmm.
it was like I was kept pushing it back. I was working so much I didn't have time. I was
Right.
like tired, depleted from the working in mental health and addiction. And so I didn't have the
Life right now. Are you talking about me?
air to someone identify, but I
Yes.
was I didn't have the energy to write. And then I got sick. I got sick of the job physically and mentally. And so um, I decided, well, I'm either going to stop talking about writing the book or I'm going to start writing the book, you know. And
Seems so
uh,
seems so simple.
yeah, I was tired of hearing myself talk about what I was going to do and not taking any action. So that's when things flipped. It kind of flipped, and I became genuinely invested in writing, joined writing groups. I think it's important when you're writing to have other artists to share it with,
Yeah.
and get from.
We have, I see Missy and Jess. Hi. I see y'all. I just want to say hi and I love you. I love you. Um, yeah, it's so interesting that you say that about the download. When now y'all can't steal this, okay? Hi, hi. Now y'all can't steal this. When I moved back to California, which the place Southern California where it's never supposed to rain. I moved here in September, and the moment I almost crossed into the California sign, it started to pour rain. Tammy, I see you. Hi, I see you. It started to rain, and I'll tell you that moment when I drove in to California in the rain with my cat Ellen losing her mind, I literally was like, this is the beginning of a TV show about my life. Like I just knew it instantly. And that's when it came to me, like the idea of, telling a story of someone, we see, people who come to the city of angels for their dreams to come true and they come true or they leave with their tail between their legs, which is what I did. But where is the story of the person who comes back and tries again? Well, it's not there. So I'm going to write it, which I could not do without you, Wendy, because I have been talking about it and talking about it. And thank goodness you all need friends like Wendy who will say to you, let's start a writing group, an accountability group, because I not only sent you, like, I know I still need to send Wendy my current, and I want to talk about this too. Like, my my screenplay was pretty polished, even though you gave me incredible changes. But this draft of the TV show is very imperfect. It's very imperfect and unfinished. And I'm terrified to show that to you. What's up with that? Like why would I be afraid of something that's not perfect? Because we need to revise things, right?
Are you a perfectionist?
Yes. Do we have perfectionists in the house? Surely I'm not alone, right?
I mean, that was like by showing up to these writing groups, and let me tell you, it was not easy, like revealing myself on that level. But also speaking in front of people helped me reveal myself and expose myself, and those secrets that we weren't supposed to talk about. The first time I said out loud that my mother killed herself, it was almost like I felt like I had broken the family's contract, the
Yeah.
unwritten keep that a secret. You're not supposed to let people know. And when I let these people know, I said I can't see them again. I'll never be able to face them again. I told so it's like little by little being vulnerable and exposing yourself. I forgot the point you were making, but
I
oh,
couldn't
but
tell you.
uh, allowing myself to write a bad draft. I was like constantly, I go, this is terrible, this is horrible. My process, I know my process now is that I I get a bad draft down And it's going to get better because I'm going to revise it. I'm going to work on it, and I'm going to go back. I'm going to hand it off to somebody, my editor, and get feedback from her, have her give me the pages back, go back in there, write it again. I read it out loud. I think every writer should read out loud to hear what it sounds like, because you can almost feel the energy dying in the
Mm.
story. It's not there. Like, so if I bounce out of the story and like I'm telling what happened instead of showing what happened, at least in the type of writing I do, I need to be showing what happened and feeling what it happened, like through sensations in the body, through tightening of the jaw, through clammy skin,
Right,
and
right now. It's because it's hot in my apartment. That's what it is.
but it's allowing yourself to write a bad draft.
Yeah. Well, I'm sending it to you because we're meeting. And see, that's the thing. I might never send it to you otherwise. If I didn't have it on the calendar, I might not send it to you.
Well, that's the accountability piece, you
Yeah.
know.
We have so many comments I want to read.
All right.
Um, Jess sent us dancing people, thank God. Perfection is a byproduct of trauma. I've got a lot of that, so I get that. Carol is recovered perfectionist who also thinks perfection is overrated. Agreed. Um, I'm well, not recovered. I'm working on it. I'm a perfectionist in rehab. That's me. Torchy's vulnerable. That's me. You are vulnerable, Torchy. Torchy's a beautiful verbal storyteller, and like Torchy's the best. If y'all aren't following Torchy, you need to. Um, Family secrets are such a heavy load to carry. And then thank goodness for some donuts, Jess. I'm hungry. I wish I could eat that donut. Tammy says, allow yourself to not be perfect. You'll grow. That's good. Family secrets. I want to talk about that a little, if that's okay, because
Yeah.
you have certainly written about that. I have some secrets of things that, some things that happened to me when I was younger. And then I have other people's secrets, like my television show has shaped itself around a friend of mine who, when my therapist will say, have you ever been in love? I want to be like, shut up. But no, I'm like, oh, well, kind of once, but he didn't love me back. He was my best friend, blah, blah, blah. So the show is, talk about being LOL, same. Talk about it like downloading. It's turning into our relationship. We don't even speak anymore. And also in the TV show, I've fictionalized the present. Like the past is kind of the past, so it's loosely based. But I'm like, can I tell his story? Like, can I tell his, or is it my version of his story? And like, what do you think about that? And then like, what do you do when they're like, hey, I know that's about me. Do I need to hire a lawyer? I guess is what I need to say.
It depends. I mean, it's like, um, so I'll tell you. I was telling you a little bit about the wedding. My son got married this weekend, right? And the whole fan family's there. Okay, everybody's there. you know, and so in my book, I wrote about my ex-husband. And he liked the book, but his new wife, well, she's not that new to him, but she didn't like one chapter I wrote about. He overdosed, right? And there was a bit of trying to cover it up when we went to the hospital. He was in ICU. Kidney failure was happening. I mean, he was on life support, basically. And
Right.
so,
Oh, that part of the book. I
uh,
remember.
yeah. And so this is the part she doesn't like. She doesn't, but I changed everybody's name. Okay, so she has been ruminating apparently for several years now since the book has come out. And it's
Ruminate.
really not getting any better. She started sending me these messages or comments on Facebook, and I would block her. and then she would create another account. I'd block that. Another, I have about 6 or 7 accounts of hers blocked. And then she used my ex-husband's account and did something under his. So, okay. So, needless to say, she's at the wedding. All right. I
Oh,
go,
no.
nothing is, I knew she was coming. I go, nothing's going to spoil this wedding. It's my son's big day, my youngest boy's big day. And she was like mad dogging me. Have you ever gotten those kind of, somebody lacerating you with their eyes? Oh my God,
Yeah,
Brian.
it's been a while. God, it's been a while.
Well, it doesn't happen too much for me anymore, but
Right.
she wouldn't say hi. And then when they were up there saying like the vows, I'm like, she's on the other side, just daggers. Okay, this is a long story, but
No, it's
it's just
good.
writing. She's pissed off about that chapter about me revealing something. And so one of her comments to me on Facebook, one of her messages DM'd me saying, "Oh, you sound like such a victim, so pathetic." You know,
Mm,
that's what Melissa Phoebus talks about as like people um, trying to suppress others through naming it like a victim, like get over it. You're beating a dead horse, trying to control the narrative, So I didn't buy into it. I did not, she can get activated. I'll just say very nicely. So I wanted my son's wedding to go smoothly. I ignored her. She stared me down, lacerated me with her eyes again. But so what I'm saying is the risk, you're taking a risk. I changed the name, her name, and it's my story. And Annie Lamont says, what does Annie Lamont says? She says, um, if you should have, if you didn't want me to write about it, you should have acted better, or something like that.
yeah. Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I made a TikTok about so this person who is taking the secondary lead in my TV show, he told me um, he was not interested. Like he told me he wasn't attracted to me. After like we went out. I was like, I was heartbroken, and yet he continued to pursue me and flirt with me, and we hooked up. We hooked up. Sorry, mom. I hooked up with a boy. We hooked up. And when I talked about it on TikTok, some people were like, he didn't lead you on. He told you. And I was like, but he slept with me. So, like, how is that not leading me on? So, I could see, people have already said to me, like, what's your problem? He didn't lead you on. He told you. He told you. You should have known better. And these are people who even followed me. I was like, y'all are not being nice. So, yeah, I want to tell that story. I want to talk about it because, I think I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say other than maybe I should hire a lawyer. Did you? Did you? I've already changed his name, but it's really close. The name sounds really similar. I should probably change it to something completely different.
Well, you can change details too. I mean, like, that to kind of throw it off. But the people that I cared about, in my book, like my sons, I read all of the chapters that were about them. I
Hmm.
read it to them out loud, and made sure they were okay. But for me, I felt like if my ex-husband would have objected, I wouldn't even check in with him anyway, because I felt it was like it was my story, and I didn't feel like I was being a victim. I felt like I was owning my part. I did a lot of shit, and it was like I'm not blaming anybody in the book,
And
and I,
write that down. Owning my part.
well, yeah, like, just own your part. And, I think that's the feedback I started getting, is that you don't sound like a victim. You sound like a narrator telling a story of what happened. And then it's like you're not blaming anybody, you're and then it becomes a different story. But as a result of writing the books, a lot of healing took place. Like my ex-husband, when he first read it at the beginning, he called me and said that he really liked the book, and that um, he said that he was sorry for not being there for the boys, our two sons, and he actually called both of them the next day after he wrote it and apologized to them. So if
Wow.
that feeling of wanting to own his part in the situation, because when he called me, I looked at, I go, oh, he's, because I knew he was reading it. I go, oh, here it comes. Maybe I better get that lawyer. But
Yeah.
that was not the case. It's more his wife that is pissed off,
Yeah.
you
That's
know.
interesting. That's
But he
interesting.
he has to hear it from her now, for 3 years as she ruminates.
My goodness. Sounds like she could benefit from the 12 steps. Dawn says, I like that, Wendy. I think owning it. I think that was the part. And then narrating without sounding like a victim. I love that. Yeah. Yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff.
But one thing that I want to say, that perhaps if I would have wrote it when I first got sober,
Mhm.
that sounded like the victim.
Right, right. Because we're not always ready to look at our part in the very beginning.
I was fluent in victimese, as I said before, fluent, and that was that. But what I find from writing is you get to change the narrative, but not just from writing. From doing the steps, from therapy, from doing energy work. I have had a lot of profound healing, that and meditation. Let me just say meditation, very powerful. Um, so I've had a lot of profound healing as a result of that. And, writing, you can change, you get to change your own personal narrative. Can I read something Sue Monk says about writing? It's a quick,
Yeah, yeah, please.
let me just pull it up. I think it's so dead on. Let me hold on.
Tammy, thank you for sharing the video. Tammy shared our live video. That's good. Thank you all for being here. If y'all have any questions for me or Wendy about anything, ask away in the comments while Wendy's looking for this.
All right, I'm going to read it to you. Then they can type in their questions.
All right,
When
cool.
I I'm undoubtedly in search of wholeness. Maybe I'm trying to resolve something, heal a wound, redeem some part of myself that has been orphaned or lost, or give a voice to what has been silenced. Maybe I'm trying to step into my truth, trying to reveal myself to myself. But here's something I didn't expect. Writing memoir can also be gloriously other indulgent. The process not only takes me into myself, it frees me from myself. When I manage to distill my experience into meaning and integrate that meaning into my life through the creation of narrative, I make it possible to move on without the preoccupation and unconscious pull of the experience. Do you hear what that's the preoccupation? What what my ex-husband's wife's doing? She's conscious
Dream.
pull of the experience. It's the unexamined experience that wreaks the most havoc in my life and in my relationships. The surprise is always this: the deeper we delve into our lives, the more likely we are to tap into the universal experience. We find the portal to everyone. That's Sue Monk Kid. Sue Monk Kid.
Is that a book?
It's her. I No, it's a quote from about writing. I think it's in one of her books, and I can't. I will investigate. I will Google this shit
That
later.
oh, Google this shit later, y'all. We're gonna get it later, okay?
I'm
It's I that's so good. That's a really good quote. All right, we
Yeah.
got some comments. Dawn, Wendy, meditation and slow movement yoga are absolutely life changing. What is your favorite type of? Whoops, I did something. I don't know what I just did. What is your favorite type of meditation, Wendy?
Well, I fell into a practice of meditation called Siddha meditation when I was early in sobriety, and that was a process. I would chant Sanskrit. It was a call and response, satsang, I think they call it. So I was very much into that at the beginning. Now it's just the breath, trying to be still and drop in behind my active mind. It's like, I don't know about anybody else. When I wake up in the morning, my mind starts going, and I just want to be still and drop in behind the personality, behind the voices, behind my opinions. And I may have talked about this with Brian last time, but I found that during COVID, there was so much polarity, people's opinions, and not just during COVID, before that, politics, everything. So different, so, and now, even now. So I try to get behind my points of view and my opinions, because my personality, because I start identifying with that. The identification of all of, I think that's who I am. But when I meditate, I find a place where there's the witness,
Mm,
the one who's just behind and neutral, uh, what's going on. And that's where peace is for me, is when I can just tap into that. So it's breath, it's consistently meditating every day.
yeah, I do really well with. I've tried several different things. When I was in treatment, they don't you don't have your phone. Well, it depends on what treatment center you go to, but where I went,
That
I did not have a phone. I had like a Timex watch. And I've shared this before how, they told me to meditate, and all I knew how to do was sit still for like a minute. That's like the most I could do was be still. Today, and I've tried everything. I have a friend who has like 20 years clean, and she meditates through dance. That's the only way she meditates, is like just movement, dancing. There's my TikTok dance moves, y'all. And for me, I like a topic. Like I'm like real, like I like to have like, so I have the Chopra app, and I get, there's a daily meditation with a topic, and then there's the silence. There's the silence where I guess I transcendental meditation, I guess. And but I'm open to all sorts of things, like driving, hiking. Like that's a great form of meditation for me. Yoga, I miss yoga. I haven't done yoga in a really long time, even though I did Dawn's yoga the other day. So y'all follow Dawn. Follow Dawn. Do some yoga with Dawn. All right, we have more comments. Tammy, when you said orphan, reminds me of being adopted and how much baggage that was for me. So, Wendy, you work for an adolescent treatment center. Do you see that type of thing, like like baggage from being adopted, trauma? I just hung out with a friend last night who was saying that he just met his half sister. He's 52, and he finally wanted to know more about his family. His mother and father had died, biological mother and father had died, but he was able to meet his half sister. Blew my mind that he was able to find her living in Southern California. It was just wild.
wow. Yeah, I mean, right now, because of everything we've been through, the kids are not doing well. The teens are really struggling to integrate back into life, because so much a part of you know uh, individuating as an adolescent is socialization, being around people, and they weren't people. So talk about anxiety, depression, but in regards to adoption, and well, my mother committed suicide. It's like attachment. I have a lot of attachment issues. So I think that happens with adoption. you know uh, it's hard to to connect with people. And I was talking to uh, my two well, I was talking to my youngest son this weekend about my older boy. When I had him, I was in a drug treatment program, and I had to give him over to my mother-in-law to take care of him while I finished the program. you know but that attachment, that skin on skin, that connection with mother and son bond didn't happen. And I think that, you know it's like we don't realize how that impacts the ripple effect of not connecting with a parent, with a mother, or with a father. And sadly, that it happened for me, it happened for my son. And it's like that's why I just try to stay present for my kids today, try to be, available and there. But it does have an impact.
Yeah. Thank you for the roses, Jenny. I love you, Jenny. I'm glad you made it. All right. Adore says, "Are you a painter?" And then asks, "Is the personal as art trending? I'm seeing it everywhere." Um, I'm not a painter. It's so funny. Y'all have heard me talk about Heartstopper. I'm like obsessed with this show on Netflix. It's so good because it's the show that I never had a show as a young person. I mean, there aren't that many shows with queer leads, but like young queer leads. I bought the coloring book, and I've been like, I can't bring. It's over there. I'm not even gonna. Hold on. I'm gonna show you.
Well, I know my friend Amber's storybook collage is an artist. I'm a
I,
writer. Where did you?
Amazon, the Heartstopper coloring book. So I'm not a painter or an artist like Amber is. Amber's amazing, um, but like I don't have to be an art. I mean, I'm an artist in other ways, actor, writer, those things. But in terms of like painting, but that gave me so much joy to color. Um, I hadn't done it in so long. I hadn't done it in so long. But so the second question is, the personal as art trending? I'm seeing it everywhere. So it's interesting. Like, I used to write about the Oscars. I still write about film on my website sometimes, and I always had to write about it through the lens of my personal life. That was the only way I could write. I mean, I know other writers. Like, I don't think I could ever be a journalist, like a news person, because I think I'm getting so many texts. Oh, hold on, let me just turn that off. So I've always needed to share through a personal lens. Um, so for me, that's been going on a long time. I haven't. I did get commissioned to write for a website recently, and they were like, "Why is this so personal?" And I said, "Because I wrote it."
Well, that's the same piece that I just on domestic violence. I was submitted, and then my editor finally told me. She says, "Well, you're not really weighing in on your opinion very strong. You're weighing in with your experience, your life experience, but you need a stronger voice when it comes to opinion." And that's the journalist, and I am more like, you know, uh, right from true stories.
Yeah, yeah. I don't
Amber
think.
Amber
Oh,
says it's doing art is meditative, and coloring is great, but it's a meditation.
yeah. It's so interesting. I don't think I could ever be a film critic because I like to share through my experience. That's what you said. Like, I'm part of this critics group. I actually don't know why I'm in there. I mean, because I write about film, but I have a hard time taking like a hard stance on things sometimes. Um, but that's a whole other live. Let's see what else we got. Oh, that's all our questions. Oh, hearts. Oh no, there's more. Oh, there's more. Hold on. Hi, Brian. Hi. I'm so happy to see you. Abandonment issues. I love it. That's amazing. I highly suggest coloring. I'm going to keep going. I only colored one page, but I'm going to do more. I'm going to do more. Um, a friend gifted me adult coloring books and pens. I enjoy it. Yeah, it's awesome. All right. So now we have about 6 minutes left, Wendy. Is there anything we didn't cover that you wanted to cover?
Well, do you think we covered like transforming secrets into art. Do we think we covered that?
That was what we were supposed to talk about, right?
About that.
I think so. I mean, I think for me, here's something that's really how, like, for someone so at the treatment center I used to work at, and I think Tammy knows this. We had equine therapy, which is therapy like horses, and they would paint on them. They would like do artwork on the horses, and it was like this really amazing therapeutic tool, and it allowed people to express things that they might not be able to express verbally. And I saw some, they would like it's interesting because they would always tell the story about how a young woman who had been sexually assaulted, who had not been able to tell her therapist yet, had painted it on the horse, and they were able to then tell their therapist that this happened. And for me, when I was doing it, because they had me do it too, I was painting sunshines on like sunshines, the sun, because I wanted to be back in LA so much. And I didn't even know why I kept painting these suns. And then finally, someone was like, "Why do you keep painting these suns?" I said, "I think because I want to be back in California." So it was a secret that was so secret, it was secret from me. like,
Well, that's the writing. That's what she is saying, that we discover the truth about ourselves through our writing, through our art, and that's exactly why we do it. Let me read this. Amber says, I find that so many times words don't suffice, but art brings out the essence of the things words can. Words can be limiting. Um, yeah, I, I, I think that for me, I like words. I like words when when they are limiting. But I like to get lost in them, and that's part of part of my process is like the rewriting and the revising, because a lot of people that I've written within groups will only write it one time. They won't stick with it and really massage the words and make it come to life. Like my drafts, I said earlier, are so bad sometimes that I go, but it's like, it's almost like you breathe life into it. You give it CPR, and the flesh becomes live, and the breath is, you breathe the life into it. But that doesn't happen at first. It happens over and over and over again, having to
yeah,
do it.
yeah. We have a really great comment, and I actually did want to touch on this. Torchy says, I hold secrets from others I'd never divulge. So that's really interesting. I mean, I have, and I know Torchy is a good secret keeper. She's told me before in comments. Uh, we don't have to say all our secrets, right?
What do you mean? You're asking me?
Yeah, like, I mean, it's okay to, keep some secrets, or is it?
No, I think it's like, I mean, we here in recovery that we're as sick as our secrets. And I'm pretty much, I guess it's okay. I guess it's everybody's choice but if you feel that it is hampering or blocking or um, you from connecting to people, I like connecting to people, and I feel that if my story can do that, if my story can help somebody, then the thing is, it's like in when I read somebody that feels like they're not pouring it on the page, or if I hear a singer that's not leaving it on the stage, I
Yeah,
feel like holding. I can feel the withholding. So I don't like reading, um, you know, stories that are homogenized and like feel safe. I
yeah,
want people to go there, and I
yeah.
want to go.
Yeah, I know. Like with my TV series, like I have to go there. Like I may change some things, and like I said, I'm gonna like be very creative with the present because I kind of want to write my own version of how it ends, because I'm not even speaking to that person anymore. However, what would happen if we spoke? It might be a terrible idea, so I'm going to make it fiction, right? Oh, and Torchy says, holding other secrets makes me closer to those people. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. Like I have friends that I know I could tell things that, like my sponsor, my therapist, and I have a couple of friends, and they confide in me, and I think that does bring us closer. That someone does feel that they can confide a secret in me, and my secrets. I think as long as I tell one or two people, I'm okay. Like there are some things that only my sponsor knows, only my therapist knows, and that's okay. I don't think I have to like scream it at the rafters. However, some of my secrets that I swore I would never tell are the ones I share the most.
Well, I'm talking here in context to writing. You
Right.
know, I'm talking about from that experience. It's like if I was to, go and tell my boss everything, these secrets, I mean, he would shake his head. But if somebody that's been through an experience like mine, and they just go, oh, yeah, yeah, I can identify, and they're nodding their head. But I think that in context to writing memoir, which I write, true story, it's like that's, I think it's important. It's at least important to me. But,
Yeah.
it's, yeah, if somebody tells you a secret, then be a vault, you know?
Yep. Yeah. So, Tammy, we're out of time, but I do want to share this because I think it's really good. And I think it speaks to like the beauty of TikTok. Tammy says, I think secrets should be shared in layers, kind of like if someone rips a blanket off you real fast, you feel exposed. And, one of the beautiful things about TikTok is I have been able to slowly reveal parts of myself that I've never shared about, like my body image issues, I can't even say it, body dysmorphic disorder, like things like that I have never shared openly about, that I am beginning to talk about, that I can now incorporate into the TV series and then help others. Like, so they can say, I'm not alone. I'm not the only person who feels this way. Because that's what my head told me for a long time. You're alone. You're alone. You're the only person, you know? And Tammy says, I've seen you grow since you've been on TikTok. Who knew this little dancing app for kids would change my life? But I can dance too, just like the kids. Yes.
Amber says ability helps others feel not alone.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Yeah. We have one more comment. See, can draw people closer, but sometimes someone just needs to be free of it without that connection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of like when they tell you in treatment, if you just got to tell a priest, just tell somebody, right? Tell the
Yep.
random guy on the street, hey, I got to tell you something. Anyway, well, y'all, we've gone over time. This has been amazing.
That went
Wow.
fast, Brian. That went
It
fast.
It went so fast, so fast. I'm just so glad to call you my friend, and I love all of you that showed up. You mean the world to me. Make sure you're following Wendy. If you're not following Wendy, follow each other, love each other, build a community here. Yes, yes. Is there anything else you want to say? Everyone's saying thank you. They enjoyed it. Love these lives. We'll do it again.
We'll do it again. Make sure you, um, if you have an idea, to drop a comment and let Brian know what you'd
Yeah,
like us.
yeah, we need to know what to do next time. I promise you, Gabriel and I talked about this earlier. I am going to do a TikTok live where I sing. I know I haven't done that in a really long time. I'm going to do it. I'm going to just sing a bunch of songs and have a really good time. Someone's honking outside my door a lot. But Wendy and we're definitely going to go live again. So if y'all have any ideas, message me. I think everyone in here is my friend on TikTok. So just send me a message if you have an idea. Yes, love Brian's piano bar. Me too. I gotta open the bar. Non-alcoholic drinks only. I mean, y'all can drink. I can't. Y'all can. All right. Well, I guess we'll call it a night.
Well, that's okay, you guys. Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah. Thank y'all for coming. I love you. I love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And Wendy,
Well,
you talk soon.
I'll talk soon, Brian. Thank you.
All right. Bye, all.
Bye.